In John 20:24 through 29, Thomas, one of Jesus' disciples, shows up on the scene in the same place Jesus appeared to the disciples previously. However, whatever he's thinking, he does not believe the disciples. Maybe they're just all hallucinating. Maybe they're persuaded by the gullible women. Maybe they just made up this story to trick Thomas. Whatever his reasoning is, he says, I will not believe unless I see the holes in his hands and the piercings in his side. So he's the first skeptic, if you will. He's the first empiricist that must see tangible proof. And Jesus shows up and says, peace be with you, and then tells Thomas to reach and feel the holes in his hands and the piercings in his side. And Thomas says, my Lord and my God. Jesus says, you believe because you see me. Blessed are those who, without seeing me, believe. Two things I want to point out. Notice Thomas refers to Jesus as God. Jesus doesn't rebuke him. Secondly, Jesus proclaims a blessing on those who will believe in the gospel message through the eyewitness testimony, right? Just as the women saw and proclaimed, and people believed, and then later 500 witnesses of his resurrection were evidenced. But many believed, more believed after that. And so when we are like Thomas, saying, I want to see proof, God gave proof. Jesus gave proof to Thomas there, right? And sent Thomas as a disciple, many say, to India, where he would die as a martyr. But God does not give each of us that level of proof. As Jesus says, they had Moses and the prophets. If they do not believe them, they won't believe even if one rises from the dead. And even if one were to give proof to many, they would still find some other explanation. See, Thomas here had faith. His faith was just weak. So Thomas, once he saw it, believed. For many, they would not believe even if Jesus appeared to them. We see Jesus appeared to the disciples, or to the Pharisees, I should say, and they did not believe. They didn't exercise faith. In fact, they rejected his message. So it's important for us to always understand that evidence is all around us. The truth is not hard to find or see. It's, are we willing to accept it? Are we willing to embrace the gospel message? Are we willing to look to God in Christ for salvation? Or will we seek some other explanation? I pray we find it in Christ.